Hello everyone. Today we have with us Ms. Prerna Parashar, Senior Associate in the Competition Law Practice Group at LNL Partners, formerly known as Luthras and Luthras, to throw insights on today's topic, that is COVID-19 and the competition law regime in India. Hi Prerna.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for joining us and agreeing to provide your valuable insights on competition law. So, I would like to start this conversation by stating that although India is not a socialist state, the makers of the Indian constitution were very well aware of the consequences of concentration of economic parts in certain sectors or in certain hands. So, the doctrine of distributive justice is very much evident in the scheme of our constitution, specifically the Article 38 and 39 of the constitution. And despite this, we all know that competition is very important for a free, healthy, flourishing economy. So, what do you have to say about competition and its role in the economy?
Okay, so the competition law was enacted with the aim to promote free and fair trade and active and healthy competition in the market. And the competition law, as we know, has certain dimensions. It seeks to prohibit anti-competitive agreements, which is covered under Section 3 of the Act. It also aims at it also does not want big firms abusing their dominance. You may please note that being dominant is not an issue, but abusing your dominance or abusing monopoly is what is problematic under the Act, and that's covered under Section 4 of the Act. And the competition law also aims at a regulation of ex ante combinations. This includes mergers, acquisitions, etc. And so far, the Act has done well for itself, though we will still say that it's developing and there's a lot more that we need to do. But I think the last 18 odd years have been good for us.
Prerna, would you say that our competition law is efficient enough to uh, provide the uh, provide the consumer welfare as well as help us in the economic growth? Has it been able to deal with both of them? Has it been able to regulate the economy as well as protect the welfare of the consumers?
It tries to, and that's the whole aim of the Act. As While it is also checking anti-competitive agreements and big firms abusing their dominance, it is also allowing mergers and acquisitions at the same time. So it's seeing that the economy is growing and allowing mergers, but it's also keeping a check so that competition is not subverted and healthy markets are promoted.
Prerna, as you mentioned before, uh, about the anti-competitive agreements, right? So as far as I know, there is no definition of anti-competitive agreement in the Competition Act itself. But there are certain practices which the Competition Act prohibits. So would you like to throw some light on the kind of practices that are considered anti-competitive in nature itself?
So, like you rightly said, Deeksha, anti-competitive agreements are not defined under the Act, but agreement is defined under Section 2, Clause B of the Competition Act. And an agreement can be any formal or written, or not necessarily formal or written agreement, arrangement, understanding. And anti-competitive practices. So, a practice will deem to be anti-competitive if it causes appreciable adverse effect on competition. And the parameters to judge AEC, which is also appreciable adverse effect, are enumerated under Section 19 subclause 3 and 19 subclause 4 respectively. 19.3 covers your factors for any agreement that is under Section 3 of the Act. These factors are if there is a creation of barriers or foreclosure of the market. And similarly, 19.4 deals with the factors where you can predict whether there is an abuse of dominant position, and for that it's market share. But market share may not be the only factor, and along with that you have the dependence of consumers on that enterprise, or the size and resources of the enterprise, so etc. So like you said, anti-competitive practices are those which cause AEC on the market.
Prerna, like you mentioned about the anti-competitive agreements, I wanted to clarify. I wanted you to clarify on a point that if there is an agreement which is apparently anti-competitive in nature, but at the same time it is improving the efficiency in production, distribution, or uh, causing an improvement in the economy, would it still be void under the Competition Act?
As we know that the Competition Act under Section 3 covers those agreements that may have an appreciable adverse effect on competition. And however, if there is any agreement or any collaboration that is on the face of it anti-competitive by way of having the appreciable adverse effect, then it will be caught by Section 3 of the Act. However, if however the Act as it stands makes it clear that if there is any collaboration or any cooperation amongst competitors that results in consumer welfare, increasing efficiencies, improving production, storage, etc., then those will be allowed by the Commission and will not fall under the anti-competitive agreements as such.
So, Prerna, what do you have to say about the present circumstances where, due to this COVID-19 situation, there's a surge in panic buying, and at the same time, there is shortage of essential commodities. These are exceptional circumstances which none of us has ever faced. So, don't you think that these circumstances require collaboration amongst competitors in order to coordinate in production, supplying, and distribution so that all the essential commodities are readily available with the buyers?
Like you rightly said, that these are unprecedented and trying times, and it is possible that competitors will want to collaborate and cooperate and for the supply of essential needs. The Competition Commission of India, by way of an advisory that they issued on 19th April 2020, which is as recent as Sunday, have clarified, and they have in fact stated that the Competition Act as it stands allows for cooperation and collaboration amongst competitors insofar as it increases efficiency, increases output, improves your production, storage, and 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 actually helps in consumer welfare or is aimed at or directed towards consumer interests and consumer welfare. There's just one along in this advisory they also make it clear that businesses will have to be cautioned that they do not use this act or to contravene the provisions of the commission of the, sorry to contravene the provisions of the Competition Act. The advisory also makes it clear that the collaboration or cooperation will have to be necessary and proportionate to the concerns that are arising out of the COVID pandemic. And businesses have to be careful that they do not end up contravening the provisions of the Competition Act, and and that's which is why the Competition Commission did not feel the need to take out any guidance note like the other countries, and has just issued this advisory recently.
So, Prerna, you mean to say that during today's time, if two competitors come together, just say like distribute the area amongst themselves to cater to the essential needs, so that would not be anti-competitive by any means?
Diksha, I would like to clarify that the Act under Section 3 prohibits agreements that result in limiting production or sharing the market or allocation of market. But when they come together or collaborate or cooperate to increase production and efficiency, those type of agreements are exempted and will not fall under Section 3 of the Competition Act. And however, only if they're necessary and proportionate to the concerns that are arising during these times.
All right. Thank you, Prerna, for the answer. So, Prerna, I wanted you to clarify on one more point, whether competitors amongst themselves strategize to maximize the price of medical equipments or health equipments uh, to take advantage of the current time.
Diksha, competitors or businesses that are involved in the supply or distribution of medical equipment and other health products, they are prevented from cooperating or increasing the prices and excessively raising the prices, because the government of India, by way of a notification, has already notified and fixed the prices of these essentials during these times. And if any company tries to breach that price or charge excessive prices, they will be caught under the Essential Commodities Act, and they may be investigated for excessive price hike under that act.
All right, all right. Thanks a lot, Prerna, for your answer. So, Prerna, as we have come to know that the Competition Commission of India has also started its operation so that the economy does not suffer. So, would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah, Deeksha, you're absolutely right. The CCI has resumed its operations to the extent that they allow for all electronic filings of informations and other combination filing. And along with that, they have also allowed for a feature of our pre-filing consultations through video conferencing. And I think these are the steps in the right direction. And yeah, we can't wait to get back to work.
So, you have any parting thoughts for our audience?
Yeah, stay home, stay safe, please practice social distancing, and stay healthy.
Okay, thank you so much, Prerna, for joining us, and take care of yourself, stay safe. So, thanks a lot again.
Thank you.